watching Barack. As I said before, that if whoever wins, basically, I was just going to kind of keep an eye on the news on both sides of the story, which means I will, CNN, MSNBC, Fox News, all those, and kind of keep an eye on what's going on and kind of report on what's happening. Now, of course, you all know my position on Barack Obama. I think that a whole lot of people were fooled. I think a lot of people are waiting for freebies. They're waiting for those rebate checks to come, into their mailbox. And, they're waiting for all the rich to be taking money from and giving it to the people that don't really want to work. As the one lady said in Sunrise, Florida, I'm not going to have to worry about paying my mortgage. I'm not going to have to worry about putting gas in my car because Barack's going to help me. Okay, well, let's wait and see what happens. Now, he's already downplaying the expectations. Even in his speech, on election night, he said, well, we may not be able to do all the things that were said we were doing because of the way the economy is. Like he didn't know that while he was running. He made a lot of empty promises, and now he's the realization he's not going to be able to do as much as he said he's going to do. And I think there's going to be a whole lot of angry people out there when Barack doesn't come through with all this change that he says he's going to do. And as a matter of fact, Michelle Obama summarized it good. After election night, she said, this is what she said, change has come. Period. Not change is coming, not we're going to change things, change has come. Because Barack Obama was elected. She's talking about change. First African American to become president. That's what his whole change theme is. You all thought it was change to get away from the economic situation and the Bush policies, which no one actually has told me which Bush policy really has killed the economy. No one can tell me this. But, Barack said, change. I'm going to bring change. Well, Michelle Obama said change has come. Because an African American was elected president. Now there's change in America. That's it. What else do you think you're going to see? Now, about weakness and strength. Barack Obama, around the world, is perceived weak. That's the bottom line. John McCain, he would have been a fighter. Al-Qaeda didn't want John McCain. In fact, I remember a Hamas spokesman actually said they wanted Barack Obama to win because then they felt like they could dialogue. Yeah. After how many, 6,000 years of fighting with the Jews, they want a dialogue now? Are you kidding me? No, they don't want dialogue. They want dialogue so they can stall and build more weapons and do all the things that they need to do. Dialogue doesn't work. We know that. How about 19 UN resolutions to get Saddam to open up to inspectors? Didn't work. Talk doesn't work. But just to prove this point, the Wednesday, I had to make tons of notes here. Again, forgive me for looking down, but it's called research. The Wednesday after the election, what's the first couple of things that hit the news? Okay, let's see. Russia deploys missiles on the border of Poland directed at the United States. Russia came out and said this is what they're doing. Okay, this is a Wednesday morning after Barack got elected. Also, the same day on Wednesday, the day after, the Palestinians launched 35 missiles into Israel, killing a bunch of Jews. Right after Barack gets elected. Coincidence? I think not. Okay? Because they know he's weak. And even Joe Biden said there's going to be a generated world crisis if Barack gets in. Because the world knows Barack Obama will not fight. He wants to talk. He wants to talk to Ahmadinejad. He wants to talk to everybody. Let me tell you something. These Muslim extremist wackos are not going to talk. Okay? The only thing they understand is power. Unfortunately, that's the way it is. But that's what happened right after the election. So you start to see that the world is testing Barack Obama already. Now, Barack Obama talks about how he's going to govern from the center and he's going to reach out to both sides and he's going to, okay. Well, let's see. His White House Chief of Staff is who? How about Rahm Emanuel? Rahm Emanuel. The news, all the news organizations got their talking points, CNN, everybody, and they described Rahm Emanuel as having sharp elbows. Sharp elbows. Hope his sharp elbows doesn't rub people the wrong way. You know what sharp elbows mean? He's a partisan. He's not going to work with the other side. Okay? Now, Rahm Emanuel. Why do we know that name? Rahm Emanuel, he served on the board of Freddie Mac. Remember Fannie and Freddie? Corruption, federal investigation, collapse of the mortgage industry. Yeah, Rahm Emanuel on the board for Freddie Mac from 2000 to 2002 while the investigation was going on in the first place. About all this false reporting of how much money they were making and how much income and how much mortgages were going out and all that stuff. Yeah, that's Rahm Emanuel. Good choice, Barack. That sounds like a great idea. And then he appoints the governor of Michigan, Jennifer Granholm, to his economic policy advisor. Advisor for his economic policy. Michigan. People that are watching this have even left me comments on videos before. Michigan's a nightmare. Michigan is basically collapsed. The state of Michigan is the worst in the country. They're in a massive recession. Okay? The Democratic policies of Jennifer Granholm and the Democratic controlled legislature in Michigan has destroyed that state. But that's who Barack Obama chooses for his economic advisors. I'm really encouraged. The economy is really going to turn around. Okay? Now, CNN reported on this, actually, and they said that, quote, Obama is not finding people that will work together to fix things, unquote. Yeah, that's what CNN actually said, and CNN's not exactly a conservative Republican thing. Now, the unemployment rate now is the highest in 14 years, which is 6.5%. I'm going to put up a graph here so you can look at the unemployment schedules and how the rates have been throughout the 90s and up until now. .5% unemployment now. Oh man, 240,000 more jobs lost. Man, you'd think it was the worst ever. Well, in 14 years. Now, 14 years ago, who was in office when the unemployment was this bad? Bill Clinton. Yeah, Bill Clinton was in 1994. He was the president when the unemployment was this bad. So now we can blame Bush and say, oh, it's Bush's fault the unemployment's this bad. But I guess we could say unemployment was terrible when Bill Clinton was president too, because it was this high. Now, after a little while, it fell throughout the 90s. Now you would say, well, see, there we go. Bill Clinton was a great president. Throughout the 90s, while he was president, unemployment rate fell. Who was passing all the laws and the legislation throughout the 90s when Bill Clinton was president? Yeah, that would be the Republican-controlled Congress and Senate. Yeah, the Republican policies reflected the unemployment rate dropping throughout the 90s. The Republicans gained massive seats and control in the Senate, okay, in November 1994, and then again in 1996. Now, at the end of the 90s, unemployment rate was near 4%. Republican-controlled Senate and Congress? Yeah, 4% in response to Republican policies. Okay? Now, Bush comes in, and the unemployment rate starts climbing around 2001. Terrorist attacks. We had the collapse of all the corporates, Enron and Tyco and all those other ones at the end of the 90s. All of that started reflecting when Bush got into office, and that was from the 90s under Bill Clinton. Okay? Now, Bush's economic policies caused the unemployment rate to drop again all the way down to 4.5% in 2006 and 2007. Bush's economic policies brought the unemployment rate down. Remember, the country was doing just great. Dow was at 14,000 something. Unemployment rate was lower than ever just a year ago. Bush has been in office for 8 years, but all of a sudden the whole economic disaster is Bush's fault. I don't think so. Now, in 2006 and 2007, we had the mortgage mess. We had all these other things. Unemployment rates now start to skyrocket again. Who gained control? 2006 of the Senate and the Congress. Who's been passing the economic policies and laws for the last couple of years? Give you a wild guess. That was the Democrats. They have control of the Congress and the Senate. They're passing policies. They're passing laws. Unemployment rates starting to go back up. Economic disaster is happening. It's under the Democrats' control. The Democratic Congress, including the Senate, has a 14% approval rating right now. That's the worst in history. 14%. Surveys, 14%. The Congress is not liked very much. Congress is the one who's passing all the laws that's leading to the downfall of this economy. Not George W. Bush, not the Republicans. But you guys out there voted for, not the McCain supporters, but you guys out there voted for Barack Obama. He's going to bring change. He's going to fix the economy. He's going to work across the aisle. He's going to work together with Republicans and independents, and he's going to bring everything together, and everyone's going to get money, and everything's going to be fair, and everything's going to be great, and we're just going to have awesome peace for the next 8 years, and everything's going to get worked out. You're going to see. You will see. You know what gets me? Charlie Rose and Tom Brokaw. Look it up on YouTube. We don't know who Barack Obama is. They had a long exchange. We don't know who he is. No one knows anything about his worldview. No one knows how he's going to do policy. This is Charlie Rose and Tom Brokaw. Not exactly Republicans, okay? You guys out there that voted for him don't even know who Barack Obama really is. We tried to tell you about William Ayers and Reverend Wright and Flagler and all these other crazy guys. No one listened. Well, now you're going to see what Barack Obama's going to do. And I'll sit back to watch and report on it as far as I see it too. Thanks for listening. May God bless us.